So it could be, let's bring them in, let's do something with them, and then let's wreck it all and bring in the new X-Men. Like, why not?
Yeah.
We have the Wanda, who seems to have all these crazy powers, and we have whoever else that can bring in Mephisto and be like, I'm the devil. Why don't we just reset all this or whatever? You know,
let's bring in Hugh Jackman for one last ride.
Wouldn't that be insane? 3, 2, welcome.
And welcome.
You are currently listening to
Is This Entertainment?
The podcast.
The podcast.
That's my again.
The quest for more money. This is episode 16, right? And like we kept going. And I kind of didn't want to at some point. Like the numbers weren't really going up for a while. And I was just like, what are we doing? And it's just, I'm really glad we kept going because they're finally starting to go up. And new listeners, thank you for being here.
Hey, welcome. Welcome, new people.
Welcome. And thank you for listening to us. And then some of you are sharing it with other people. And we really appreciate that.
Every couple of days, we get a new subscriber on the YouTube.
Yep.
That's fun.
My wife said, just keep doing it. She's like, don't stop. You know, you're doing something.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it means a lot to finally get a little bit of recognition back. We're doing something here, Ben, and it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing a thing the other day and it was like, list your website. And I was like, oh, I don't have a website. And then I was like, oh, wait, the podcast has a website.
Yeah,
that's
you have a
enough.
website.
I have a website.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Before we get into the WandaVision, so we got new listeners, and thank you.
Yes.
And we've done 2 different kinds of shows. We've done music shows, and we've done entertainment shows, TV shows.
Right.
TV shows.
TVs and movies. Oh, I guess we did talk about Wonder Woman. Yeah, we talked about some.
Yeah, we talked about
some.
And
then
a little bit.
It's peppered in there.
So we did the Born Yesterday show, which was our band back in the day, early 2000s. And so if you haven't listened to that, go back and listen to the last podcast because we interviewed our bass player from back in the day. And,
special guest.
Yeah, that was
first time.
We may be having another special guest, which we're 90% sure we're having, but I don't want to say yet, just in case. But
don't want to ruin it.
Make sure you are following or subscribed or whatever it is, however you're listening to this thing.
Yes, follow us. Yeah. So then get that automatic RSS feed.
Now we can talk about the WandaVision now, I think.
WandaVision. Ooh.
Let me switch screens.
So we are in we're in the 80s. We're in the 80s now.
This was like what do they say, like Family Ties type beat?
Yeah, so it had a family the intro was the what do you call it?
It reminded me of, didn't Family Ties have a house like that?
Yeah, it's very Family Ties, but then it's also very Growing Pains. I would say it's 50-50 on those.
Okay.
Especially with the intro, like the painting of the color, adding the color to the black and white picture of them. That's definitely Family Ties, yes. Okay. But then the showing the pictures of them as little kids getting older, and that's from Growing Pains.
The only thing I remember from Family Ties was Michael J. Fox being in it, and I don't remember like any actual thing from the show. And Growing Pains, I remember what's his name, Tony Danza, like being in the show. Was that okay? Then I don't remember.
That's Who's the Boss.
I don't remember. I don't remember anything. And so tell me about Growing Pains.
Growing Pains was Alan Thicke and not Judith Light. Judith Light was on Who's the Boss. What was her name? Oh gosh. But it had Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron was like the smooth talking oldest son. Here's what's interesting about Growing Pains. Alan Thicke in the show, Alan Thicke wrote theme songs for other sitcoms. I don't know if he wrote the song for Growing Pains, which is super catchy.
I wonder if he wrote this theme song.
This was a great theme song.
It was very impressive.
But as we get into this episode, they pull a lot from Growing Pains, which Growing Pains pulled a lot from other things. But there's a lot of tropes. There's a lot of 80s family sitcom tropes that get dug up on this one. But yeah,
I think we should talk about this here situation.
This scene right here.
This Agnes mess here.
Agnes. And this is even before. This is the cold open. So we have a full reality break before the theme song starts.
So Vision told her not to take care of the kids.
Yeah.
But she was like, wait, aren't I supposed to take care of the kid or whatever? Or hold the kid? Yeah.
What do you want me to hold the kids? The way she breaks and goes from like happy Agnes to basically Catherine Hahn.
Yeah.
Like incredibly neutral. I don't know what to do here. Do you want me to take it back from the top? And then back into it once. Man, Catherine Hahn. She's an American treasure. She's doing great. Here.
This has been like a magical role for her. And when she breaks out of that moment, it makes you wonder if she has her own autonomy as well. If she's not completely mind controlled by Wanda. If she has the power to not be controlled, is she the one in charge of everything? Or as we've seen from a clip from the next episode.
Don't bring it up. Well,
we saw a clip from it, but so we don't know what she is. We obviously have no idea, but something is different.
I'm still holding out on the idea that she is. I won't go as far as to say she is in charge. I don't think Wanda is in charge of the hex.
As we see later, she mentions, "Do you think I'm controlling all of this?" And she seemed very sincere about that.
Yeah, and while I'm not fully on board that Agnes is the person that's in charge, I'm not saying that. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's a 50-50 even split, but I think it's a higher percentage that she is involved in some sort of way in the overall dynamic.
I mean, people on the internet keep screaming Mephisto, and Mephisto is Marvel's version of the devil.
Interesting.
If Mephisto is involved, then there's a chance that she's a demon or something, like a right hand something or another. So like that could be a thing, or some kind of witch, because Scarlet Witch, hex. So something is off. It's more off. We're still not sure what it is, but it's getting the examples are more and more often.
Yeah, it's happening at a clip now, man.
Yeah. So that freaked me out.
Ooh, also what's interesting about this scene, before Agnes comes in, Wanda tries to use her magic on the twins, and it does not work.
It didn't. No, that was.
She's. It's probably not a good idea to use shortcuts. What did we do? And nothing. Them kids were still crying.
Yeah, they have full autonomy, so they're their own thing for sure. Which is strange because their power is to grow older.
I'm sure they have other powers. Yeah. So the kids are crying, and then they decide to just completely age up.
So they disappear out of the crib and age up. And Catherine Hahn seems to be on board with it. Oh, it's fine. Yeah. So fast or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Sure. Like, it just makes you realize she's more in on it than we.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a conscious in on it or if it's just like in their brains, Wanda or whoever is telling them, ignore all the weird stuff. Just go with it.
So the kids, they disappear from the crib and reappear over by the stairs at the age of 5.
I'm willing to accept the idea that they aged up and got out of those things when nobody was looking.
Oh, they just crawled out. Okay, so they're not teleporting.
I'm okay with, I don't know that teleportation has to be a thing. I think it could just not be shown.
Yeah, they just grew up and climbed out and walked around. And it was just a misdirect for us, the audience.
Right.
That's creepy. We've never seen that before.
Right? Yeah, that's not on the list.
We've seen it where Ant-Man travels back in time and instead he gets younger or older.
True.
So we've seen that. But like them doing it on their own, totally weird, totally different.
And the little eye checks where they like take a look at each other, check it out, and like subconsciously agree, okay, it's time to age up.
Yeah, that twin check.
Yeah, because they're not. So maybe they've got some telepathy situation
for sure.
Yep.
So we get the intro music, which we just talked about, and then a dog appears in the sink.
Yeah. So did the kids create the dog?
Appears. They said it was outside crying. That's what they said.
True. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we cut to the dog in the sink, doggy paddling. What a bad joke.
Did you ever have a dog growing up?
Yeah. Do you remember Sonny and Boudin?
Oh, yeah.
Both toy poodles?
Barely.
Sonny was the golden one and Boudin was the brown one.
Yeah. We had a poodle and a lab at one point, and the poodle was named Curly, and I think we named the lab Mo.
Yeah.
But we didn't have a Larry.
Yeah, and before that we had a Cocker Spaniel named Buffy. He peed all over everything.
Buffy was a dude?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We're gender neutral over here.
Let's be honest. It doesn't matter. They're dogs. Is it a boy or a girl? Who cares?
Well, only if it humps your leg or whatever.
But no, we had a girl dog that would hump. Yeah. So it's just whatever.
Okay, back to the episode. So we saw him grow up to 5, and then just like a few moments later, they decided, oh, let's be 10 because you can't have a dog until you're 10.
So you also get the moment where Agnes walks in with a doghouse and Vision calls it out, basically saying, oh, we have a problem, and here comes Agnes with the solution. Again, this is becoming a pattern. Vision is figuring stuff out.
Which makes you think maybe Agnes is the one that put the dog in the yard.
Maybe. Agnes is involved, man. Yeah.
So you have to get the dog in the yard to get the kids to age up more. And she's trying to manipulate what's going on for the children and all that stuff.
There's no kids. Vision points that out later. There's no kids in the neighborhood.
This was the most creepy episode, I think. Like, just the weirdest, awkward. I think if it hadn't gone back out and zoomed out to Sword at all, it would have just been so weird. Like, it would have been probably too much. But they didn't. They zoomed out for sure. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. So, we see Monica getting some sort of scan done. I don't know if we know exactly what type of scan, if it's like a brain scan.
Some kind of brain scan. It looked like it was scanning her head. It looked like an x-ray machine, but I don't know why you would. Yeah. I don't know why you'd want to x-ray your head. It doesn't seem like a smart thing to do.
I don't know.
Keep your head away from the microwave, people. But yes, they said it was empty, blank. And then they were just like.
Blank.
She was just like, whatever.
Yeah. I ain't got time for this. In the comics, she does have some powers. So is this the beginning of figuring out like where her power is going to come from?
Is it that, or is it Wanda controlling her mind, or is it something else controlling her mind, or blanking it out, or is that? I don't know. This just seems like something you don't just gloss over. Right? You have no brain. No.
Yeah, I think they're planting a seed for something larger, having to do with Monica. So I'm anticipating that seed blossoming into the flower of she's got some powers.
Super Monica. Yeah.
Super Monica.
Super Rambo.
Yeah. And she's still very much on Wanda's side during this.
She's very sympathetic.
Very sympathetic. Yes. Yes. Whereas director, whatever his name is, that guy, she's a weapon of mass destruction.
Right. His point of view makes sense considering what's happened. If you take all things into account.
I would just have a little bit more leeway for the person who just came out of the thing. That's your primary source of information. So dismissing her ideas, probably not great.
Trying to just murder her.
Right. Yeah. Hey, we got this drone. Let's drop that bomb.
It makes me wonder, too, wouldn't Wanda have noticed there was a drone with a bomb on it and turned it into a balloon or something? You know what I mean? Like, or whatever that hex thing is. Like, it should have, or maybe it just wasn't a bomb. Maybe it was something or something.
Well, all the technology was from the 80s, so it didn't have to be changed.
Yeah, did we have that technology in the 80s, though? You know what I mean?
They said, the dude said, I know this thing's from the 80s, but can we
Because I don't remember drones being a thing until the 2000s.
Dude said it was from the 80s, so...
He said it was, so we'll just go with it, I guess. Don't want to contradict the show. This was a weird one. This was
haunting, man. This was haunting.
Super creepy, weird.
We got Vision. We got Vision at his workplace, which you think this is the big move here. This is him working at this data spot.
This is the new news that we get essentially for this episode. We find out these people are in pain. It's not just like, oh, we're mind controlled and we had to do this. This is serious.
This dude's got his mom
or whatever.
He's got to worry. He's worrying about his dad. And he doesn't know how long he's been in this dream state
and in pain. And I think that was the big takeaway, which lends more credit to the idea that it's maybe not just Wanda doing all. Because I don't think, even as much as she's misguided by her grief or whatever, I don't think she would willingly want to harm people like that. So,
and there's also an element of, maybe she's the engine and something is amplifying her. I don't know.
I guess we go weird every episode, so I might as well go weird here. But when my mom passed away, I would dream about my mom. Like every night it would be a dream, and it would start out great, and then everything would just melt apart and be terrible. And that happens like over and over for months. So like I get, like this show is obviously just, they even said it in the show that it's about grief. So, and you're right. So if that dream that I had would have came into reality, it would have been some kind of messed up, weird shit like this. So whatever it is, it's just her subconscious, like you said, being amplified or something like that,
So is this outside force controlling the whole town and she's just filling in the gaps? Right. Or is she plugged into some sort of amplifier situation that is creating I don't know, but we'll probably find out.
Oh, we should talk about is they went back to the old modem. They used the
the dial-up internet.
Yeah, the dial-up internet. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I remember waiting like 3 minutes.
That was the fast version of it. Yeah, it took 2.5 minutes to connect. Yeah. With all the beeps.
Like, all right, just waiting on this page to load, and then we're gonna read it.
And you had to wait for an image to appear, like
it would just like come one line at a time, and it would just like slowly file in. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
And now if it takes my phone more than a second to load a page, I'm like, what is wrong with this app? Close everything out, start over again.
Yep.
Yeah. The times that change.
Should we mention anything else weird about this office? Because there was like a little bit going on. So the fact that Sword made contact with the inside.
Yeah, I don't know if that was for them.
Yeah, it was a letter from Sword to maybe they intercepted it or.
Yeah, I feel like they just intercepted something. I think Vision just tapped into something that was out there.
Or maybe, or maybe they were trying to contact him.
I don't know. And then everybody laughs at the end of the email. Ooh,
oh God! And they said it
out loud. Ooh,
yeah, that was super creepy.
Yep.
So, have we seen Vision use this power before?
No, I don't think we've ever seen him directly tap into somebody's head.
Yeah, so he's like unplugging them from the Matrix.
We've seen it in Ultron because he puts his hands on Ultron's head, and that's how he burns him out of the internet.
I see. Okay, but we haven't seen him pull people out of the Matrix, the hex, so to speak.
Yeah.
So then they have a second of clarity, and then he's nope, you're too much trouble. Go back.
He's like, nope, you're freaking out too much.
Yeah.
And it just puts you back to sleep here, friend.
Yep. Put the veil back over your eyes, and we'll move on. Moving on along here. You don't need to see this. You don't need to know what's really going on.
Yeah. We'll solve the larger problem, and hopefully that'll fix you.
You'll be all right later. Hopefully.
Oh, so then also we also get the conversation with Wanda with the twins about where the twins are calling out the weirdness of why is Dad going to work on a Saturday?
Oh yeah.
And she's no, it's Monday, and they're like, no, it's Saturday because your powers don't work on us, and we are seeing things as they are. Yeah. So hey, why did Daddy go to work? It's just it's going in on that. Like they're not under the veil. They are just living it.
Yeah, they know what's up, and they have their own ability to do what they want.
So we also get the dog dying right out of the gate.
Yeah, in Agnes's bushes. How convenient. Yeah.
Agnes is a part of things, man. This is a part of things. Don't connect any dots.
Also,
but it's too much smoke for there not to be fire.
On a total side tangent, I had no idea that azaleas were actually toxic to dogs. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't realize it was an azalea bush.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah.
Does
that they said azaleas?
Yeah. Is there any
crazy?
I don't know if there's any meaning in that, but yeah. So she's just back there like murdering the dog.
Yeah. So then Vision buries the dog, and then that's what leads to the conversation of, "Hey, what the F, Wanda? What are you doing?" And it looked like for a minute they were about to throw down, about to have some fisticuffs. They both were flying at each other.
Before we go past, like the dog dying is like a symbol of basically what's happening to Wanda. Like that is like an external representation of the entire situation. Is the love for a thing and then the death of a thing and the grief that she's going through in 30 seconds. Like this is the thing that's really going on here, and this is the representation of it, which is wild.
Like by having to explain it to the kids, it's helping her get through it.
Yeah, it's like therapy.
Yeah.
The weird version of therapy for her. So maybe.
Yeah. Don't use your kids as therapy there, people. Don't do it.
Well, maybe whatever's going on here is actually really trying to help Wanda. That could be a whole different twist. You know?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We're just trying to get you out of this grief so that you can be the witch that we know you can be or whatever. Yeah. Then we get the
confrontation. Vision's basically, hey, things are weird. And I talked to my coworker, and he is under the belief that you are controlling his mind. So what's the deal? Why are you doing this? Also, we get some key moments of him not remembering anything before Westview. Like that gets locked in, and him trying to deal with the fact that like he does not know that he died. That's probably important for him.
Yeah.
But then we also get, once they calm down, we get the conversation where she says, I'm not controlling everything. And I believe her.
Yeah, right there with you.
I also don't believe that we get that security footage of Vision's body getting taken while we're in the sword compound. And I must assume that she knows that he did not want that it was in his will that his body stay hidden. So the fact that she broke in there and took him makes me think that she's under somebody's spell there. I don't think she would.
Or her grief is that heavy. I mean, you lose somebody that close to you, you want them to come back. Right. You would do anything. And if you really have that power or know how to get that power, this makes me think that there was a break in time, right? There's stuff we didn't see. So she went and she got Vision's body. She may have had to get like more Infinity Stones or something to bring him back. Like it may not just be just the one, which is would explain
well, in this
her
world there
powers.
In this world there are no Infinity Stones.
So she's obviously done something to increase her power. Or am I missing something? Or did she all along have the power to bring him back?
I mean, the scene with Monica and Jimmy and Darcy, where they're basically going through, hey, her powers came from the Mind Stone. She could have beaten Thanos had he not rained all those missiles down on everybody. And then, of course, we get the line of, hey, didn't Captain Marvel also get her powers from the... And Monica shut that conversation down.
What was up with that?
She's probably mad that her mom's best friend disappeared for a long time and then came back and then disappeared for a long time again and then probably wasn't around when her mom died. I believe there's probably some resentment
beef,
there.
Yeah. Captain Marvel, like, we should maybe do a Captain Marvel review because, like, it's a very controversial character, MCU-wise, and just her as an actress, too. And...
How so? I'm not aware.
There's, like, a whole thing, the internet canceling people, and there's a whole thing, like, a backlash against her. She tried to start a YouTube channel, like a YouTuber.
Yeah.
But it was like, it just had this pretentiousness, like fakeness to it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what am I trying to say? Brie Larson. Yeah. So she made a YouTube channel and it got like all this press, like the full PR release. So like her first videos got like millions of views or whatever. And then it just went. Usually when you do YouTube, your stats go up. So just to see them just crash, must have been disheartening. And yeah, I don't really know a lot about it, but I do know that movie also is polarizing as well in the same way that maybe The Last Jedi is polarizing. People had like very mixed feelings about that movie, and it's the same thing. There's some good takeaways in that film, and there's also some like, wait, what? So like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. But yeah, we could do a whole thing on that at some point.
Yeah, sure.
I know, but the whole Marvel universe hinged on that film even existing. If that film didn't occur, then Thanos would have basically won.
If
it was like, oh, let's add a Superman type character. We don't have one, and that was her. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
I mean, if her character didn't exist, they would have just had somebody else do some stuff. It's not like they would be like, all right, let's make Endgame and the bad guy will just win and that'll be it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, from a storytelling standpoint, they used her, let's make this invincible character and then use her as the way to defeat Thanos really quick.
Yeah, but she was gone for 4/5 of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. She just shows up. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm here. Sorry, a bunch of you might have died and all this stuff blew up. I'm here now.
Yeah, I mean, I also think like that movie was a culmination of so many things, and it really was a last ride for Iron Man and Captain America and Thor to a lesser extent. You can't have your new people completely dominate this movie.
We've been following Tony Stark's story since day one, so
we'll get more her later on down the road. In theory, we would have gotten more Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther.
Oh, some Marvel news that we didn't even talk about. They're doing like a whole...
What's that?
They're doing a whole show. The Black Panther show.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
What? Like, you just lost Black Panther and you're going to do a Wakanda show?
Yeah. Well, in the comics, his sister takes over the Black Panther mantle at some point, so I think they'll just give it to Shuri.
She was like a nerdy scientist type. Like, why are they going to give her the superhero mantle? I don't know. That's weird. That's not really in line with her character. Doesn't seem like, as far as like in this universe, she's nerdy.
Right. Well, but once the fight starts, she gets in there and starts shooting people with her fun pulse glow. Okay. So she's not
the other guy that fought for
what is that? M'Baku.
Yeah. I could see him being Black Panther more so than.
Oh yeah.
Like
I mean, yeah, it could be a thing where it rotates. I think they have a lot of possibilities.
Oh, guess what time it is, Ben?
What time is it?
It's time for me to take a break. I'll
Nice.
be right back.
Sounds great. Hey, there we go. Hey, everybody. It's just you and I again. You and I. Oh, man. All right. So here's my thoughts. This episode of WandaVision is very much an 80s episode in that growing pains, family ties kind of realm. So in theory, the next episode should be in the 90s. So if that's the case, what are the top 90s shows? Talking TGIF. TGIF consisted of Perfect Strangers for a while, Step by Step, and Full House. Who was on Full House? The Olsen twins, the older sisters of Elizabeth Olsen, who's on WandaVision. So if you're telling me that they're going to do a 90s sitcom trope episode, if Elizabeth Olsen doesn't say, "You got it, dude," at some point during this episode, I am going to be livid. It's right there. At this point, her career is in no way based on her sisters. Their careers are in no way, at this point, even influenced by television film. I'm sure they still got residual checks on residual checks on residual checks, but that's not where their heads are at. That's not where their world is anymore. They're doing their own thing, and that's cool. Live your life. They've made enough money to do whatever they want. So there's distance. If at this point in life, a quick nod to Full House is upsetting, then what are we even doing? She has to say, "You got it, dude." She has to. It has to happen. Otherwise, the writers of this show have failed. Then everyone has failed. They've done a great disservice to the world. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
All right. Seems fair.
Yeah. She has to say it. She has to say it. Come on. Or there has to be some subtle reference to the fact that her older sisters were a part of one of the most beloved 90s sitcoms ever.
I remember coming home from school and watching Full House. I remember that.
Really?
It was on like every day or something, or reruns or something.
Yeah. My after school show was Saved by the Bell.
Could not get
TBS.
Into that.
TBS would run like 4 episodes. R.I.P. Screech.
Couldn't do it. I watched a few episodes. The only thing I remember is Screech. Maybe it was too real for me or something. I don't know.
Maybe that 2-year age gap in us is where the cutoff.
Yeah, a whole different paradigm.
So this episode of WandaVision does 2 things that the 80s sitcoms really dived into. And I want to expand on that for a second. The first one is the aging up of the children. No, get back here. Put us both on screen. This is us having a conversation. I want to get into it with you.
Oh, my mistake.
Yes. So yeah, the trope of in one season there's a baby being born, and then the next season that's a full blown like 3-year-old.
Right, walking and talking, saying lines.
Yeah, being cute, and it totally irked me as a child watching these shows where I was like, no way, because in Full House, Michelle, she aged in normal time, but then Uncle Jesse had twins with Lori Loughlin, and they were babies, and then all of a sudden they were bowl cut toddlers.
Yep.
And I was like, I did not see this progression, and my continuity gene in my mind was like, nope, this is taking me out of it. And that's as a 10-year-old. What's your vibe on that?
The only thing I remember are just the Olsen twins, I don't even know, like making jokes and laugh tracks going off. And that's my memory of 80s television, like laugh tracks.
Gotcha. Laugh tracks.
And them being like that whole studio audience vibe. Everything was like in a house, the Cosby Show type thing, in a house and people talking. And
one of the awesome parts about these shows was that a lot of them had the 2-staircase house where there was the front room staircase, but then there was like a back like kitchen staircase. The Huxtable house had it. There was the stairs. There was the stairs in the back of the kitchen, and there were the front stairs. Same thing with Different Strokes. They had a spiral staircase in the kitchen, and then they had the grand staircase at the entrance to their apartment. Full House had it. They had the stairs up to Uncle Jesse's spot in the kitchen, but then in the living room, they had like the grand staircase.
I think this is more a function of needing a staircase that's not in a shot.
You also need like multiple entrances and exits in all of your sets. You can't just have people entering from the same door every single time. So I get it as a why that happened, but it implanted in my mind a need to buy a house that has 2 staircases.
Do you have a house with 2 staircases?
I don't, but there's a house. There's a house. I'm looking at it right now. It is across the street and over just a little bit, and it had a double staircase and an amazing kitchen, but it was also like $25,000 more, and not significantly bigger, but bigger to the point of there's no justification for us buying this house. And my wife was like, look, I know you want the double staircase. I know that about you. I know that it's important to you, but we can't justify buying this house. If we already had 3 children, this would be an amazing house for us to have, but we don't. We don't necessitate that amount of space. We don't need 3.5 bathrooms.
Yeah, we keep looking at houses in Thailand that have 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms. And it's, what are we doing? I need a room. You need maybe 2 rooms.
Right.
And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And we could live like for a third of the money we're living on right now if we just go, let's just get a 1 bedroom. But it's like, what? We could spend the same amount of money we're spending right now and get like everything. The pool, the 3 bedrooms, the bathroom. It's so tempting.
Absolutely.
It's so tempting.
If you end up seeing a house that has a grand staircase in the front and a spiral staircase in the kitchen, you get that house for your buddy Ben Owens.
Here's the problem. Some of these houses do have 2 staircases, but like they'll have an outside staircase that goes up to the roof or something. And then they'll have like a patio on the roof, type thing. Yeah, man, there's some interesting designs that are not what we're used to, that are really kind of unique. So who knows what we're going to move into. We may just be like bums for a minute and just get something teeny.
Yeah.
And then
you don't need to get the forever home right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. Aging kids up, double staircase. So Growing Pains also did the age up because they had a baby and then they upped it to some toddlers.
See, I remember the Tony Danza. This was 80s, right?
Yeah, that's Who's the Boss. 90s. Tony Danza is Who's the Boss. I'm talking about Growing Pains. They had a side character. Kirk Cameron's friend's name was Boner. That was allowed. That was allowed on national primetime television to have a character, a high school character named Boner.
You know, Richard.
Boner is not a nickname. I know what it is, okay? I know what it is. I don't need an explanation of what it is.
What are we even talking about?
We're talking about Growing Pains.
Okay. Yeah, no memory of Growing Pains. Here, let me get you on the single shot here.
No. Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. Get back here. No. Growing Pains, they had Mike Seaver, all right? And then they had Tracy Gold. Then they had the third kid. I think his name was Ben, actually, his character name. And then they had the daughter.
Very rare name.
Which was a baby. And then she was played by a toddler. And then all of a sudden she was 5 years old and she was played by Ashley Johnson. Now, Ashley Johnson went on to be in a bunch of different movies and a bunch of different TV shows. She's currently on the, what's that show called? Where she's got all the tattoos that solve clues.
Tattoos that solve clues.
Tattoos that solve clues on NBC.
Memento?
Close. Either way, she's on that show.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, because it's a girl from the first 2 Thor movies.
Oh my gosh, yeah. My wife and I started watching that, and then it just started like looping and repeating the same pattern. So
we watched the first 2 seasons, and then we were like, okay, this could literally go on forever.
Yeah.
So
I wish they would have wrapped up that whole storyline.
So Ashley Johnson, the girl who's on that show, was in Marvel's Avengers. She was. You remember the scene during the Battle of New York? There is a cafe that starts getting exploded and Captain America comes in and saves everybody. She's the waitress. And then at the very end of the movie, they're like showing clips of people talking to the news. And she's like, Captain America saved my life.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So nice, Growing Pains to Marvel Avengers.
We talk about how bad our memories are all the time, but yours seems to be working all right.
Look, there's some things that just I remember certain actors and what they've been in. So then, going back to Growing Pains, they do the other sitcom trope that has been lampooned by The Simpsons. It is the ratings are low, let's add a new hip character. So in the last season of Growing Pains, they added a teenage homeless kid that was in Mike Seaver's class, and that was Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's where he got his start?
Yep. And what other show just randomly added a new character out of the blue? WandaVision.
Is that the one we're watching?
Yeah.
Which character?
The very end.
Oh.
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
We got to talk about Quicksilver.
For sure.
Yeah. This is wild, man. This is the X-Men Fox version.
So this is real. Yeah. In the X-Men version, did they mention his sister?
There is a reference to his sister being upstairs, but they never show her. And I think the word on the street was that the agreement between Marvel and Fox was that they could both use both characters, but then eventually, like, they could do it once and then they would split them up and Marvel would keep Scarlet Witch. I also think that Evan Peters' version of it in Days of Future Past, that kitchen scene was so strong.
It was better,
that they were like, yeah, we're going to have to.
We'll just bring him over.
We're going to need
the better version, yeah. He was a lot of fun. So, just his version of the character, granted, a lot of it had to do with the writing as well, because it was two different stories. So the Pietro over here, being from the oppressed and manipulated whatever, is totally different than the Pietro over there who's just a kid having fun or whatever.
But what's interesting is that character is introduced in the 80s. Oh, wait, no, it was the 70s. Just kidding. No, that didn't work. Okay. Days of Future Past was in the 70s. But the part that he was in was taking place right as the Vietnam War was ending.
Okay, so it's 70s. Like a totally different universe.
Yeah, there's a lot of implications here. Because the scene that Vision and Wanda were having was her saying, I'm not controlling everything. I don't know how all of this started. And him starting to believe her. But then the doorbell rings and she's like, I didn't do that. But every other time, it seems like she was doing that with Agnes showing up.
And then
alternate universe brother shows up and that brings her back in line, I think. I think in the same way that like when Vision is starting to figure things out in earlier episodes, there would be the
just
quick
going along with the plot. And now Wanda's going along with the plot.
Right. So it seemed like maybe she was starting to figure things out and somebody's snap cutting her in the way that she was doing it to Vision.
I see.
By adding someone from a different universe who is her alternate universe brother.
Okay, so
we're getting into multiverse.
So we have a lot to talk about.
We're getting into the multiverse.
We have a crap ton of stuff to talk about because the implications of this are maddening.
Did he get just pulled out from the multiverse?
Is it real at all? Is it a different actor? Like she even mentions it. Oh, did she just recast her brother? Didn't Agnes say
right?
That? Yeah. So
bring Aaron Taylor Johnson in at some point to be the real one.
It could be a huge. We're ready. We're about ready. We're going to combine X-Men and Avengers, or it could be this is just somebody messing with her.
Yeah. I think this is opening the door for some multiverse stuff, which will then get explored in Spider-Man 3, and then also Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange.
And Days of Future Past, did they somehow, after that, I can't remember the X-Men movies, did they pull them into current timeline at some point? It seemed like with Phoenix and all that.
I think the Dark Phoenix movie is supposedly taking place in the 90s. I honestly don't think that Marvel will use those actors.
Yeah, you say that, but look at what we're looking at here.
That's true. I think this is a one-off for that. Like, I could see us dipping in to seeing a little bit of that version of the X-Men somewhere out there. But I think when we get like an actual X-Men movie, I don't think it will be
those X-Men.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah. Okay, two things are happening here. One, here's Evan Peters. Hello. Two, there's been a rumor that there is a Luke Skywalker size reveal that is going to happen in this show in WandaVision.
Right.
From what I can figure out, I don't think Mephisto would feel like a Luke Skywalker type reveal, even though it's a huge character. Getting somebody from the X-Men universe like Patrick Stewart or even just getting like Magneto, what's his name? The guy that plays him now, the younger one.
Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, we could get a Michael Fassbender. because that's her father somewhere, maybe, or something. And some of the versions of Wanda, he is her father.
In the comics, yes.
Yes. So we could get a Michael Fassbender situation because we did see a similar type of scene in this episode where Wanda pulls everyone's guns and points them at the guy.
That's true.
In the same way that Michael Fassbender did in which one of the X-Men?
Ian McKellen.
Or was it Ian McKellen?
I think both of them did it. Yeah.
Using that power to essentially do the same thing. Have everyone else point their guns at someone. So
it could happen. Look, if they get Fassbender to show up and then they're like, hey, guess what? We are taking the actors from the Fox movies and bringing them in. I'm in.
Yeah, it's already been. I mean, it's already been announced. We're getting Deadpool and we're getting Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, so it could be. Let's bring them in. Let's do something with them, and then let's wreck it all and bring in the new X-Men. Like, why not?
Yeah,
we have the Wanda who seems to have all these crazy powers, and we have whoever else that can bring in Mephisto and be like, I'm the devil. Why don't we just reset all this or whatever? You know,
let's bring in Hugh Jackman for one last ride.
Wouldn't that be insane? Wouldn't that be crazy if Hugh Jackman showed up in this thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Just be like, bring Logan in for one more time. I don't think there's anybody that's, God, I can't believe they got Hugh Jackman to play Wolverine.
Again, come on.
Was there anybody upset about Hugh Jackman? Is like every character, like when they cast somebody, there's always some controversy. But with Hugh Jackman, I think he was a little bit tall for Wolverine. So there was a little bit of that at the beginning. But then once we saw him as Wolverine, everybody's like, yeah, that's Wolverine.
We watched the really bad movie Hitman the other night.
Oh, God, that movie is terrible.
It's not good.
The potential is a lot because those games were good.
I never played them.
Story was good in the game. That's what I don't get.
He's not the dude to play that character. Like, he's too funny. He looked like him, but he's too funny. He's too funny to play that guy.
Yeah.
And like that guy takes everything uber seriously. And that's not Oliphant style.
No.
But Doug Ray Scott plays the Interpol agent in that movie. And he is the one who turned down Wolverine in the first X-Men movie, leading the way for Hugh Jackman. So every time I see Doug Ray Scott, I'm like, man, he could have been Wolverine. And would that have worked as well? I don't know.
They must have thought it would work if they cast him.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow.
But I feel of the original X-Men series of movies, he was the bright shining star of those. I mean, obviously Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Yep.
But as far as unknowns,
it was all Hugh Jackman.
He became a gigantic megastar. Would the same thing have happened to Doug Ray Scott? I don't know.
So we're going to have some serious something. Something is going to happen even
some
more.
Some stuff is happening. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is what Marvel needed because we were basically at the end of the story with Endgame. There's where do you go from there? So
you got to open it up.
Shake-up is required at this point, I think, for more significant storytelling.
Definitely. We've got this storyline that passed through 5, 6, 7 movies. I think having some things that are a little bit smaller, like 3 movies that are like super well connected, but aren't direct sequels. You know what I mean? It's not like Guardians 1, Guardians 2, Guardians 3 kind of thing. If it is like WandaVision leads into Spider-Man, leads into Doctor Strange, and then those 3 movies have this contained overall arc, and then the next group of movies also has that thing. I think that could be an interesting way to tell stories that is different from the whole phase, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3.
It's the next phase, but you don't have to have every character in every movie. Like it can just be its own, a couple characters here, a couple there, but still telling the story. I'm just talking out of my ass right now at this point.
Yeah, you're good, man. I mean, that's what we always do.
That's what we're doing.
Why have a podcast if not to?
I don't know. Like because I was listening to a podcast, it sounded so scripted. I was like, how? It sounds like you're just reading off of a page. Why would anybody listen to this?
It depends on what they're there for, you know? If you're listening to like our show is about like us talking about a thing.
Right.
But if you have a show that's like informative, like something like Serial, where that show was about, you've got somebody explaining this whole murder situation.
Okay, I thought we were talking Honey Bunches of Oats.
You thought? Oh, no.
Well, that's an interesting podcast.
No. Serial, Serial. Look it up. It's one of the most popular podcasts in the history of podcasting. Yeah.
I should do some research. If I'm going to have a podcast, I should
Listen to at least 4 podcasts.
Yeah. I was recommended the Lex Friedman podcast.
Never
heard of it.
Don't know who that is.
Yeah. Seems, yeah. Everybody's got a podcast.
Oh, yeah. There's a billion of them. There's
Everybody's
a million.
got a podcast.
Yeah. There's so many.
The cool thing is that we have a podcast.
I know. It's crazy. But at the same time, we're not special.
I do not feel special at all. I'm glad I have this opportunity to speak with you on a weekly basis. It's a big relief.
And this week, 99 people heard us talk to each other.
Yeah.
Or 49 people twice. Because we had 2 podcasts come out this week.
Yeah, we did have 2 podcasts, which is a thing. So let us know if it's too much. Are we overwhelming you 40 people?
Look, do anything to let us know you're there.
Yeah.
Comment, give us them 5
He's Ben
stars.
at isthisentertainment.com. I'm Jacob at isthisentertainment.com. Send us an email. Be like, hey.
We got our Twitter handles up here on the
Twitter.
YouTube.
It's right there in front of you. You've been staring at it this whole time. Just leave a comment.
Right there in front of you.
Oh, man. That song could have been so good. Could have been so.
Dude, because of that Born Yesterday episode, I've had Fallen Angel stuck in my head all week. All week. Oh, this episode was called A Very Special Episode, and I'm guessing that's because the dog died.
It's not because Evan Peters showed up.
But that's the thing, like in the very special episode realm of family sitcoms, the very special episode was because like some like bile showed up or somebody like drank too much alcohol or whatever. That's what all the very special episodes were about, right? Yeah. These like tragic things. And then at the very end of the episode, you'd have the whole cast like sitting on the couch being like, hi, we're the cast of Growing Pains. Oh, if you're struggling with alcohol, call this
donate some
number.
Money. Yeah.
That's the root of all of the very special episodes. So I was waiting for some sort of like
the phone number to pop up on the screen.
Right. The creepy, like, right, exactly. Yeah. So then I'm like, okay, because the dog died and that's the very special episode. Like, we're talking about
makes sense.
Pain and grief and all that.
If you were someone who's experienced a loss recently, this number.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate this. I really appreciate the show. Having lost a lot of family members, it's, it's therapeutic in a way.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, like learning how to grieve is exactly that, learning. Like it's not something that you just automatically know how to do.
And it's an overtime process too, and I think that this show is teaching us that in a somewhat overt way. Like just even the way that they release the show, just 1 week at a time.
Right?
It's like your brain needs a little bit of time to process what just happened.
Oh yeah, it's a good show. I hope they do more. I initially thought there was going to be 8 episodes, but now I think I saw somewhere that it might be 9.
I heard
I have no
10
idea
somewhere. Yeah,
you heard 10? Even better.
I'm not 100% how many episodes, but I heard 10.
Right. How many Mandalorians were there? This is like the only other like Disney Plus show that I don't know. I can spent that much time
Google
with.
It. If we got our 2 guys Googling stuff.
2 guys. It's about time. We're an hour in and we haven't Googled anything yet. Yeah. This is insane.
So it says season 2, episode 8. So I think it was just 8.
Okay.
Yeah, just 8. So it looks like they went a little longer in the one.
I did Google this earlier. Growing Pains theme. As long as we... Oh, dang it. You gotta be...
It's so positive.
All the time. Okay. We got each other. Sharing the laughter. And we can play that. We can play that. The internet will not care if we play that in its entirety.
Here's the deal. That is something missing from television right now.
That has 2 million views on YouTube.
Right now, in this era of television, is so dark. What happened? Where's the hope? Like, we need hope right now. Society, the world, all the weight. We need some hope and some happiness. And every show is
there. I just think
every show is so miserable. Every show, like,
is young Sheldon miserable?
Yeah, but it's terrible.
So, was Growing Pains great? Is that great art?
I'm just saying.
No. There's just so much more content now that we don't.
Is like, why there should.
Growing Pains was on. There was only like 4 or 5 things.
There
but
should
if you want to find positive stuff, there's positive stuff.
Where?
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine is an incredibly positive show.
Is that a cop show? I don't want to watch a cop show.
Fair. Ted Lasso Ted Lasso is amazing. It is uplifting and
great.
wonderful.
I need to watch that.
But you got to have the Apple Plus, which sucks because then you got to buy one more streaming service. Parks and Recreation, man. I tell you, go back and watch that. Wonderful.
I might skip the first season and watch that. And,
watch the second season and then go back and watch the first one.
We tried to watch Fleabag again. We couldn't get through it, man. Can I just skip to season 2 and watch what's his name?
Sure. Yeah, just watch season 2. Yeah. Watch Andrew Scott. Yeah. Definitely.
Is he that good in that, or is it more like a different character?
He's so good. He's so good, and everything he does is good. But he plays a priest.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's in love with him.
There's never seen. Well, how could she not be? I've never been so captivated by a man in my entire life.
He's just eternally captivating.
Yeah, it's incredible. This guy, he needs to be in more shows because wow, it's.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that guy can write his own check.
Yeah,
he
should be in major film. Like, why is he not a Marvel character? What do we got there? City of what?
This is my City of Pawnee. This is my Parks and Recreation mug.
Oh, okay.
I have a coffee mug. That's how important the show is to me.
Okay, I'll check it out. Maybe that'll be something that can keep us in a good mood.
It's people working in local government having a good time, trying their best.
Yeah.
How nice, right?
Yeah, trying to help people that didn't ask for it.
Look, trying to build some parks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's fun. It's fun.
Oh, my God. Where has this episode gone, Ben? I think we fell off the cliff like 20 minutes ago.
Disagree. Hard disagree.
No, 10 minutes
All
ago.
of this is gold. This is what the people want.
So if you know somebody out there that could benefit from listening to us talk, make sure you let them know.
Hey, do you think, is this a fun hour of listening enjoyment for you? If it is, tell somebody else. They might enjoy it too. Who knows?
We're here for you, and you can be there for them.
That's right. That's right. You can be that person that's like, hey, check out this podcast before it gets cool.
Or before they stop doing it.
Well, look, we're locked in, man. We're locked in. We got a couple more episodes of this show. We got our special guests potentially end of this week.
This is really exciting. We're like actually doing podcasty things. Yeah, a couple episodes a week now for two weeks in a row.
Wild.
Yeah, figure that. We definitely always publish on Monday, and the second episode seems to be random, but it will probably come out Thursday night. Mark your calendar.
Sweet.
And on that note, I'm ready to have my mind melted more next week.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about?
Oh.
We didn't talk about shows that have recast people in the middle of their runs, i.e. Quicksilver and the whole cast changing thing. I'm actively trying to think of
another version
of an example.
This is different because he was Quicksilver in another universe.
Right. Absolutely.
But changing actors midstream, I think the Cosby Show did it. There was some controversy with the mom.
Oh, no, that was Fresh
Prince. Yeah, Fresh Prince did it. Who else did it? I'm sure it happens more than you realize. Like, you don't notice some characters. Oh, we haven't talked about, if you need another show that's dark and you want your mind to get melted, watch American Gods.
Oh, I haven't started the third season yet, but that show is an acid trip, man.
Yeah, the visuals in the show are incredible. I don't even know how they come up with the ideas.
I've never done acid, so I guess I can't speak to that. But from everything I've heard, it's an acid trip.
We could do an American Gods review, just like a one-off thing, because that show is whack. And I didn't even recognize the main actor. I thought it was a different actor, the way his hair was all done. I was like, what is going on? They like totally color graded him differently or something.
That show's had 3 different showrunners. Like every season has been like a different showrunner. So I think they've had, because Kristen Chenoweth didn't come back after the first season and they were setting her up to be a big deal. She was Easter.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That was a big deal. Yeah. And they just,
and then they were like, don't worry about that.
Got nothing. Yeah. Nothing to see here. Couldn't renew that contract.
Yeah, I think when the first showrunner left, she was like, "Yeah, I'm not going back." Oh, the same thing with Gillian Anderson from X-Files. She was media.
She left. She was what?
Yeah, she was media in the first season, and then
what? She was what?
The god of media, like TV and film and stuff. She was dressed up as I Love Lucy in the first season.
Gillian Anderson,
like she was in the TV.
Okay, yeah, they didn't bring her.
Yeah, she didn't come back for the second season either. And they just created that social media character as like a
replacement,
as like an evolution of her.
Smart. It does feel a little detached from itself when you go to the next season, but it's still tackling some concepts that are so wild and far out and awesome.
I've never read the books or the book. My wife has, but I figured I'll probably read it after the show ends.
Okay, I'm curious where it goes. That guy's brain, he produces an insane amount of content. And
Neil Gaiman.
And he knows what's up. He knows things that we don't, I think.
Yeah, I think we got it.
That's it. Listen to The Dual Paradigm. We'll put the link in the description. And thanks again, Ben. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, it means a lot. And we'll see you soon in the next one.